Hey guys, Cameron is the name, and today Pikmin 2 is the game for the final time on the final floor. Last time we took out sub-levels 8 through 13 of the Dream Den, the final area of the game. And in this episode, we're going to be taking on the final boss of the game. We're finally here. After a year and a half, I believe it's been. We're here at the end. And right over there, it looks like we see a familiar face. Okay, so to get things started off, I do need to go ahead and acknowledge what happened. For those of you who watched the last episode, I missed a treasure. I had to go back and retrieve it by going through all the previous floors once again. While doing that, I decided to restart my numbers because, as you can see, my numbers definitely went up quite a bit from, I believe it was like the 76 that I had or something like that. Now I'm back up to 98 Pikmin. I have now, let me look at my list. I have 35 yellows, 18 reds, 10 blues, 20 whites, and 15 purples. I have a lot more yellows than I did previously. I highly recommend going in with a large number of yellows for what's to come. At least that's my preferred strategy. That being said, oh, actually another thing I want to acknowledge is Olimar is not on his deathbed. He has more HP now. So we're going to go ahead and I guess we'll have the president go ahead and approach what's in the center over here. Let's get our yellow Pikmin. Now Olimar is going to stand off to the side. Well, actually, no, you know what? We're going to switch the rules. We're going to have Olimar go in and check out the center while the president is going to idly stand by. I mean, in fact, he does have lower HP, and we do need to keep him out of harm's way. That being said, let's see what lies in front of us. Is that Louis? Mr. President, I've located Louis resting on a vast mound of treasure. For him to venture to these depths alone, the desire of man is a thing to be feared. But Louis is not moving. Could he have exhausted his strength in reaching these depths? There may yet be time. Quickly, to Louis' aid. Alright, let's go help Louis. But instead, Louis is on top of the final boss of the game, the Titan Dweevil. The Titan Dweevil is a monster. It has 4 different weapons. It has the Comedy Bomb, which spews poison, the Flare Cannon, which obviously gives out fire, the Shock Therapist, which gives you electricity, and the Monster Pump, which pumps out water. Now, obviously, the Shock Therapist is the worst weapon that it has. It can instantly kill any Pikmin type except for yellows. On the other hand, I would say the weaker of the two is maybe the Comedy Bomb, not as deadly. But one thing that is worth noting is except for the electricity, the poison from the Comedy Bomb, the water from the Monster Pump, and the fire from the Flare Cannon can all stun your captain. It doesn't deal damage to your captain, but it will stun your captain. And if that happens, you're not able to call your Pikmin as they're being poisoned or as they're drowning, etc., etc. Now, it is worth noting that when it comes to the Monster Pump, water will be spewed outside of the fighting area, meaning that your Pikmin that are idly standing by are as well in harm's way. Now, if you remember me talking about potions, this is where they're going to come in handy. The Ultra Spicy Sprays are going to be very helpful in this final fight, and so are the Ultra Bitter Sprays. Now, this fight isn't really as hard as much as it is extremely long. There's been people who have spent an insane amount of time on this boss fight because they did not know a good strategy, being an hour or so. Now, the reason why I recommend going in with a lot of yellow Pikmin is because you can have them attack the Shock Therapist without delay, which is the most dangerous of all of the weapons. Oh, and this is what I was talking about. If you notice right there, Olimar did not take any damage. However, he was stunned. If I continually got stunned over and over again and my Pikmin burned to death, there would be absolutely nothing I can do. But I would recommend going in with a lot of yellows so you can go ahead and take out the Shock Therapist as soon as possible so you can get your other Pikmin in on the mix. And another thing worth noting is the smaller your group of Pikmin, the longer the Ultra Spicy Spray is going to last. However, if you have a lot like I do, that should not be a problem. Keep on loading on the Pikmin, and eventually these weapons will come off. However, it can take a very long period of time. Oh, excuse me, the electricity as well will stun your captain. I was not aware of this. Electricity as well will stun whatever captain you have. So every single hazard that this boss is spewing out has the potential to hurt our Pikmin. So, especially the water pump, that's going to be next on our list. If you look right over here, we have Pikmin who are not even in the fight being affected. So we're going to go ahead and call them, make sure they're all okay. Looks like everybody is just fine. Next on the list is the water pump. We're going to go ahead and start loading Pikmin onto this one right here. However, I highly recommend always using, if you have Ultra Spicy Sprays, go ahead and use them. you're going to want to use them as much as possible, just extend or rather speed up the fight as much as you can. But there's been people who have spent crazy amount of time, it's like 30 minutes, well 30 minutes isn't that crazy, but spending like 40 minutes on this boss fight because they didn't know a good strategy for taking it out. Another good thing about using your yellow Pikmin is that they can reach whatever weapon is being used at the time without delay, while the other Pikmin cannot reach the heights that the weapons may be at. And again, the Ultra Bitter Sprays as well speed things up along as well. So, while it's a really long boss fight, and it's a dangerous enemy, and in fact the final fight of the game, you can easily get through this if you have the correct strategy without losing any Pikmin whatsoever. However, again, it will take a very long time. So I normally don't edit, I normally don't cut out any sections of a boss fight, but I'm actually going to have to do it with this one just because of how long this boss fight really can be. But my strategy that I recommend to you is picking one treasure at a time and sticking to it. Don't go ahead and, damage them all bit by bit. Pick one treasure and let that be the one that you're going to attack. My personal recommendation is first taking out the Shock Therapist and then the Monster Pump. But that's just me. Do whatever you please. That being said, I will see you guys when I have taken down the Monster Pump. Okay, I am back and I have managed to get the Monster Pump off of the Titan Dweevil, which by the way is the name of this boss. I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but there you go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have the president over here actually throw some white Pikmin to the aid of Olimar. And you really don't have to do this, but I just like to do it because, in my opinion, the treasures get in the way, and once they start piling up, we're going to go ahead and quickly load a lot of white Pikmin and yellow Pikmin to carry this out of the way. Hopefully they can get that out without them being sprayed by fire. Alright, they got out of the way. I'm not going to quite carry them back yet because I do want to save that for the end of the fight, but I'm going to go ahead and get them pretty close to the ship. So there you go. Out of the way, out of sight, out of mind. I do need to go ahead and get the Monster Pump back as well. So let's go ahead and load Pikmin on. But again, as I said, the main danger of what can happen here is all your Pikmin burning to death, first of all. There's a lot of dangers. But the main obstacle you need to worry about is the fact that the fire, poison, water, and electricity can all stun your captain. And if your captain's getting stunned repeatedly, time after time, you won't have the ability to call your Pikmin back to prevent them from, to prevent them from dying from whether it be poison, fire, electricity, etc. So, be very careful of that. However, if you do get in that situation, if you can, try to switch captains so your other captain can get all the Pikmin to safety, but you might not always get the chance to do so because you're just getting stunned repeatedly over and over and over again. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and switch back over to the yellow Pikmin. We're going to spicy up, I guess is what I'm going to say. And next on my list is the Comedy Bomb. I'm going to go ahead and load as many Pikmin onto this as we can. Now what's really great about the yellow Pikmin is if you can manage to get a lot of Pikmin attached, you can get, if you can't, I can't speak, if you might be able to manage to get some Pikmin attached on to one of the treasures like that, even while you're being attacked by another of the weapons. So right there, they were able to attack through that entire bit of time. If you can get white Pikmin to do that. With the other Pikmin, they can't quite go high enough, so really the yellow Pikmin ironically are best for this fight, which I say ironically because of how useless they were, or seemingly useless they were in the prequel to this game. So anyways, that being said, we're going to go ahead and keep on loading on the Pikmin, and I could be wrong. I would assume that all the treasures take an equal amount of time to knock off, but in my experience, the Monster Pump has actually taken a really long time. So if there's anybody who knows about that, whether one treasure takes longer or one weapon takes longer to get rid of than the other, let me know in the comments because I'm really interested. But we're just going to go ahead and use the Ultra Bitter Sprays whenever we can because that's definitely going to speed things up. And obviously, always use the Ultra Spicy Sprays as long as you can. And it'll speed up this fight considerably for you. Let's go ahead and call these to safety without calling all of them off. Yeah, it gets really complicated once everybody is running around on fire. It's hard to call your Pikmin off without calling the ones that are attacking off. So this can, like I said, be a very lengthy boss fight. So I will see you guys once I have gotten the Comedy Bomb knocked off. Okay, I've got the Comedy Bomb off. All is good. We're going to go ahead and carry this back as quickly as we can. Maybe without catching on fire, maybe? Nope, everybody's going to burn, apparently. Well, I still have the Ultra Spicy Spray into effect, so maybe we can carry this back in an orderly time so that we're not getting... Oh, never mind, the Ultra Spicy Spray just wear it off. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get the white Pikmin in on the mix and carry this back as quickly as we can. White Pikmin, this way, please. And actually, let's go ahead. We have some extra white Pikmin. Let's go ahead and throw some more into the group just so we can get this... Oh, no, not blue Pikmin, please. Blues come back. Okay, I think I got just the blues back. Let's go ahead and add on these additional white Pikmin, and we're going to go ahead and carry back the Comedy Bomb as soon as we can, just to get it out of the way. Although I don't want to waste an Ultra Spicy spray on the white Pikmin, I want to go ahead and wait till I have purely yellows to use it on them, so the potion, or excuse me, the spray will last as long as it possibly can. But let's go ahead, white Pikmin mostly, hopefully mostly white Pikmin, maybe a few yellows, there you go. Yeah, they're not going to be able to carry this back, they're about to be burned. Oh, actually, I stand corrected, they narrowly got by, that's amazing. Okay, get that up there, push the other treasures along a little bit, I suppose, and let's go ahead and resort and get yellow Pikmin only. Okay, we are back in the mix. We have yellow Pikmin only. We're going to go ahead and load them on to the very last weapon. We're going to take care of the flare cannon. And we are very close to the ending of this boss fight, it seems. It's crazy how long it's been since I've started this project, and the fact that we're finally here towards the end, and we'll soon be moving on to new things. So I'm extremely excited. It is kind of weird that this boss fight is so winded, it takes so long, but I mean, nonetheless, I'm still really pumped for what we're doing here today. Go ahead and keep loading them on, and it's going to get really annoying at this point. Now, I have seen people who, at this point, they'll go ahead and just bring in the red Pikmin, let them take care of that. But my only issue with that is the only time where the treasure is low enough for you to be able to throw a Pikmin onto it is when they're attacking, and at that point, you have to just wait till they're attacking and avoid your captain being stunned, so you can even throw the Pikmin on in the first place. So I go ahead and still, even though red Pikmin have no chance of dying here, I'm still going to go ahead and stick to the yellows, just for the sake of my sanity. And time, of course. But, oh, please don't burn to death. Okay. So, I think it's going to take a little bit while longer before we get off the flare cannon, so I'll see you guys back here in just a moment. Alright guys, I'm back, and we're not quite done, but I sense that the end is nigh. I've put quite a bit of damage onto the flare cannon, and I really feel like it's about to pop off, but hey, we'll see. Although my Ultra Spicy spray is starting to wear off, and the attacks of the Titan Weevil are becoming more and more frequent, I'm getting less opportunities to attack in between cycles. So let's make sure that nobody burns alive here. Which, by the way, all these obstacles that we're going through, they are deflowering our Pikmin, so once the spray wears off, you will have a lot of elite Pikmin to deal with. So do be warned about that. Hopefully you won't run out of sprays, although you can end up using quite a bit. You most likely will run out of sprays before the ending of the fight, but I went ahead and harvested a ton before going in today. Anyways, let's go ahead, make sure nobody dies. This time around, I'm getting a little bit impatient. We're going to wait till you're done attacking, use one more spray. We're going to load on as many as we can. All right, we got quite a number on there. Let's see if we can take it out of the cycle. There you go. It's finally fallen off. And now that the final treasure, or the final weapon, I should say, is off, the Titan Weevil is completely defenseless. There's absolutely nothing it can do to attack our Pikmin, although it still is being kind of frantic and bluntly pretty scary. So, that being said, we're going to get this out of the way, and we're going to call everybody into the final fight. And we're going to go ahead and start loading on the purple Pikmin. Now, at this point, there is no risk of your Pikmin dying whatsoever. However, if you're impatient like me, you may want to go ahead and use some of your potions just to kind of speed up a little bit of the final fight. So, I'm going to go ahead. Everybody gets the spray, and you get the poison, and we're going to go ahead and load them on. You can probably hear me jamming the A button at this point. Let's go ahead and get as much damage on as we can. Oh, you're about halfway there. We are so close to the ending. We're completely out of sprays except for the Ultra Bitter Spray, which I guess is nice, but this is about to wear off as well, so we are pretty much all out of our resources at this point. But at the same time, the Titan Weevil is completely defenseless, so let's keep on loading on the Pikmin, and it's done. And I gotta say, that looks disgusting. I love how that one red Pikmin is just sitting in front of Louie, like, how you been, bud? Louie? Are your life functions fading? No, he appears only to have fainted. He is always running into trouble. Instruct the Pikmin to carry him. There is not enough room for him in the cockpit anymore. We will have to keep him in cargo hold with the treasure hoard. Okay. But he himself is now going to be a treasure, so we're going to carry back him, although I do want to save him for last. He will be the final treasure that we carry back. But all these weapons are indeed treasures. They're the final treasures of the game. So let's just go ahead and load on the Pikmin and get them all carried back. First up is the person that we took off. I believe actually we're going to have them delivered in the order that we took them off. First up is the Shock Therapist, worth 1,000 Pokos. Next up is the Monster Pump, the only of the weapons that can actually fully attack outside of the range of the fighting arena. Next, my favorite name of all the weapons, deemed the Comedy Bomb. Nothing funny about this one. And last but not least, or actually, in my opinion, probably least in terms of danger, maybe, the Flare Cannon. And all these are worth 1,000 Pokos. However, we have one more treasure to carry back. He's apparently fainted, although his eyes are still open and he seems to be moving just fine. Let's go ahead and carry back the final treasure of the game. Our old pal Louie. Who? We can't just call him Louie. We need a catchy nickname for him, something that will sell. Want to go ahead and deem him the King of Bugs. And with that, we have finished with 27,303 Pokos. And we have carried back every final treasure, not only on the final floor of the Dream Den, but in the entire game. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done. So, with our 98 Pikmin, our squad of all the Pikmin, or at least all that are in this game, yellows, reds, whites, blues, and purples. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Let's go ahead and escape to the surface one final time with our Pikmin. And this is only going to have me showing, it's only going to show me carrying back a few treasures, because like I said, I had to go back. It's not going to show all the treasures we got in the Dream Den. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to some footage really quick for you guys to see how everything else added up as well. Okay, so what I just showed you was all the other treasures that we carried back before this episode, excluding the boss stone, because I did show that technically in the last episode. But the confetti means we have gotten absolutely everything, and technically this second visit I only had one Pikmin death, but not really. That's fine. Let's go ahead and save. The Wisp of Wild is so pretty at sunset. Although, that's it. You've collected every treasure. Okay, and now that we've carried back everything, we get to go ahead and see the results of everything that happened. Pikmin lost to fire, apparently only one. Pikmin lost to electricity, 41? Let me see, 3 lost to poison, 146 red Pikmin born. It's going to show us through all the stats of our playthrough. Although, let me see. I'm trying to remember how this works. Let me go ahead and look at this really quick. It's been quite a while since I've seen the screen. Yes. So the glowing number is the number, the one that's at the top, of course, the one that's not ranked, is what you did in this playthrough. Although you can go ahead and compare your stats with other playthroughs of the game that you've done. Day spent, 20. That's the lowest I've ever done on this file, I suppose, or on this game. 241 Pikmin lost, a lot less than my other 10, which, by the way, you're looking at my stats of this playthrough compared against my Pikmin 2 Versus playthrough. So that's why I had 1,001 Pikmin lost, because we weren't able to restart episodes or anything like that. A lot of Pikmin lost to battle, 722, but that, again, that's a different file. This file I had 176 lost to battle. Only one Pikmin left behind. That makes me so sad. I know exactly what Pikmin that was, too. None lost to fire, surprisingly. 31 lost to water, not surprised there. 12 lost to electricity. Yeah, that makes sense. 21 to explosions. 0 lost to poison. I'm happy about that. 705 born. A lot less than my other playthrough, but hey, I had a lot of deaths in my other one. It's a lot of Pikmin. 146 reds, 123 yellows. I had a lot of blue Pikmin born. Although I think the deaths kind of counterbalance that. A lot of white Pikmin born and a lot of purples as well. The total playtime, 16.5 hours. But yeah, so you can go ahead and look through all your stats. If you're someone who plays this game and you want to beat your old records, and this is a cool function for you. But that being said, let's go ahead and save. And it's going to bring us back to the map. However, if you look around, there's nothing else for us to do. We have done everything there is to do in Pikmin 2, except for looking at the treasures and the Piclopedia. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Piclopedia first, because there's something that I want to show off before we're done. Right here, you can look at the Titan Dweevil, the boss we just faced. You can go ahead and, in this function, you can look at all the enemies that are in this game, and you can go ahead and throw pick carrots, which will act as bait for whatever enemy you're looking at to go ahead and act on and attack, so you can kind of see what they do in action. And you can look at both Olimar's notes and Louie's notes. If you look at Louie's notes, eaten raw, this predator's luxurious legs are bold and full-flavored. What a satisfying crunch. Interesting. Look at Olimar's notes, the Titan Dweevil. Mandaractinia gargantium Dweevil family. The largest member of the Dweevil family. This fearsome predator carries protective components that frequently exhibit offensive capabilities, an evolution that may be attributed to mere chance. Another evolutionary theory is that the chemical contents of the containers carried by the Titan Dweevils contribute to possible gene splicing. While other Dweevils do not seem to choose the objects they carry, the Titan Dweevil appears to prefer shiny objects above all others. So it's really cool. You can go ahead and look at a lot of interesting information about the enemies, I mean, if you're interested in that sort of thing. So that's pretty cool to look at. Let's go ahead and transition to the treasure hoard instead. You've collected succulent series. Plunge into the juicy world of alien cuisine, I believe is what it said. Okay, it's going to go ahead and tell me about all the treasures that I've carried back that I've never checked once in this file. So let's go ahead and, I guess, keep spamming A. But treasures come in series, which is kind of cool, I suppose, that they're all grouped together. Kind of makes you, like, it makes you want to go ahead and complete the set if you're someone who wasn't already 100% in the game already. I'm just going ahead and going through all this. You can look at it yourself if you want to. And is that it? No, I have so many more series to go through. Oh no. Are we done? If I just keep holding A, will this go any faster? No, it's... Okay, you got the Titan Dweevil series. And entomologist. Man, this game really shows how weak my vocabulary is. Entomologist. And film directors will buy them by the whole load. And you can look and see, like, who this product is going to sell to, which is pretty interesting. And you can also look at the sales pitch of items. Awash in color and sugars, this item makes an ideal home for many insect species. I'm sure this is valuable to the scientific community, but it has little value as a commodity. and you can go ahead and look at it. It's really interesting. Some of them are rather funny. And you can go ahead and look at Olimar's journal, see what he writes. I found a weird item today. Wedding the surface produces an endless froth of bubbles. It's amusing, but it will take further investigation to determine its practical use. It may be a young and playful. It may be a young and playful mind to unlock. Oh, it may take a young and playful mind to unlock its secrets. Yeah, you can look at all the items. So I suppose that's pretty cool. However, there is one thing that I do want to show you guys, and I have to remember where it's at. Okay, I remember. What we are looking for is the the last treasure we carried back. Louis himself, again deemed as the king of bugs. If you choose to go ahead and look at the sales pitch for him. A new employee of Hogtape Freight, Louis is often silent. Nobody knows what thoughts lurk in his mind. He appears to operate on the same wavelength of insects, often with dangerous results. After he was kidnapped, he somehow managed to hijack a colossal insect's brain. I repeat, managed to hijack a colossal insect's brain, meaning that Louis was actually controlling the Titan Dweeble, and he is the real enemy, the real nemesis of this game. Louis was not an innocent bystander. He did not pass out. He was fully controlling that the entire time. If you go ahead and look at Olimar's journal, Louis is back. Somehow he survived a horrific ordeal with a freakishly large, weapon-wielding Titan Dweeble I entered a hole with, an army of ferocious Pikmin, grimly determined to save Louis from the Titan Dweeble. But it seems like he was perfectly fine all along. I can't understand how he managed to avoid being eaten. He's always had an unusually close connection with insects, and I know he loves to cook them. Maybe he wasn't kidnapped after all. Could he have been controlling that beast all along? No, that's craziness. Although he does insist now that we address him by his proper title, the King of Bugs. So yeah, Louis was behind it all. Something you wouldn't know if you didn't go ahead and check out the side feature of the game, which is pretty interesting. So there you go, that's there for you. A lot of these sales pitches are really catchy, or not catchy, but they're really funny, I should say. So I recommend you go look at those in your spare time. But that being said, we've collected every single treasure in the game. We've done all there is to do. I have nothing else to say. All I gotta say is thank you everybody who joined along for this Let's Play. I had a handful of people. I had a handful of people who joined me or who watched practically every single episode, or at least every single episode recently. Names going up on the screen right now. Thank you guys so much for sticking around as long as you did. To me, it doesn't matter if I have a lot of people watching, but it's made such a big difference just having a few of you guys following me and my journey through this game and on my channel. So, again, thank you to everybody who went in to helping me with this play. Thank you for all the co-commentators that I had way early in the series. It's been a lot of fun, although I'm really excited to move on to new things. You guys should hear from me relatively soon on when the next project will go up. Anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. There will not be a next time of Let's Play Pikmin 2. I've been Camerani, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys back here next time on a different game. Goodbye, guys.